Hello everyone and welcome to Low Rent Rick Scale Modelling. Now making this video is probably going to get a little bit of hate and some rude comments, such is life. Now this video is for those that don't have the money to run out and buy ammo and buy MIG and buy Vallejo, or for those that just need that one colour that they've got in the terrible starter set paint pots, and they want to know whether they can airbrush it. Now this is for them. It is possible, and let's see how I went about it. So these paints, they really are usually quite terrible. They are varying quality. I'm using two pots of 164 from the Airfix starter set, the Lockheed Martin 172 scale F35B Lightning 2. So what I wanted to do is to see if I could get this stuff to go through the airbrush and what sort of effect I would get and any problems I'd run into for those that you know are curious and would like to know. So I'm going to use a mixture of water and some IPA as a thinner. So that IPA is 70% alcohol to 30% water. And I'm also going to use some Vallejo Airbrush Flow Improver. So the first step is to get, add about 30% liquid to these little paint pots. So a few drops of water and a few drops of IPA to start getting those paints nicely mixed up. They usually come really quite thick inside those pots. So we're going to water it down somewhere around 50% to get it through the airbrush, possibly a little bit more. I'm already spraying paint everywhere because these pots, they don't keep the paint in or the air out, as many of you probably know. So once that's been given a good shake up, I'll decant what I've got into the main bottle using a little funnel here. There will still be quite a lot of paint left behind. If you're so inclined to do this, you probably need to filter the paint, but this paint doesn't seem to be in too bad condition, and this is just an experiment because I'm really interested to see the effect and see what it does. I may end up having to strip down the airbrush and clean it out, but that's something I've got to do anyway. And this could be a nice little method for those odd bits of paint where you just need that one little colour or you can't wait for a delivery. So I'm going to add a bit of flow improver to that now. All these measurements are just pure guesstimation. There's no set rule to this as it's the first time I'm doing it. I'm just trying to thin the paint down by at least 50% until it kind of looks right and it kind of feels right. I'm sure those of you that airbrush will know what I'm talking about. So I'm adding some more IPA to the pots to again break down that thick paint and close them up and give it another good shaking. So I'll be going through this thinning out and shaking and decanting process about 3 times until I've got sort of double the volume there or thereabouts of paint that I started with. And if the consistency is right, I might add a little bit more water or flow improver to get that sort of consistency of milk is the phrase that I hear bandied around a lot, and that's quite a good description of a good airbrush paint. Into the final stages of the experiment now, and this is a messy job. As the paint gets thinner, it's able to leap out of the lid of the crappy plastic pot. I'm sure you've all been there. So I'm making a right mess doing it, but it does seem to be yielding what looks like usable paint. Now I won't know until the next bit where I fire it through the airbrush. But the mixtures aren't set in stone. This is just doing it purely by eye. From experience of thinning down paint. So it may seem like I'm using too much of this, or mixing IPA and water is a no-no for some people, but this is just an experiment. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get something usable at the end of it. So once I've got this final bit done, I'll give it a good shake up and then I'll get it onto the body of the plane, and I'll see how the paint reacts. I am actually expecting it to work really well, but I'm also quite open to the fact that I might be stripping down my airbrush in a few minutes time and giving it a good clean. So here we go with the test. I've got to say it works extremely well. Um, a lot better than I was expecting. The consistency is just right, and it's going onto the model absolutely perfectly. I'm not getting any clogging or any of the problems associated with this, let's face it, terrible paint. Has been, at a pinch, made to be able to use through the airbrush. So I'm really pleased. Please do, in all seriousness, let me know what you think in the comments. There are some, there are going to be one or two that say just buy this or just buy that, and that's fine. I welcome every comment. But for this method, we've actually proven that we can use these paints at a push. Your results may vary. I know the quality of the paints in the pots really does vary. So please consider subscribing to my channel and do leave some comments below. And if you wouldn't mind, do check out our Facebook group, which today has just got over 1,000 members this morning. And we'd love to see you there and love to see your work. I'll leave some links in the description. Until then, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.